Nothing quite like playing some of this. When I'm having writer's block. God damn it, Steam. This is just awful! It's terrible, I say! Just somebody help! Oh look, it's Mr. What was it again? Finch. No, the name's Filch! Phineas Filch! Keep on pilfering and you may wind up a jailbird instead. So it seems to be the problem, Mr. Filch. Oh, it's just terrible! Terrible, I tell ya! Kapwick! Okay. Is this another one of his scams? Looks like some kind of mask. It's the Amazing Nine-Tails mask! Amazing Nine-Tails? Alright, the wrestler who appeared during the festival special event. What's his mask doing here? He'd never take off his mask like this. Someone must have killed him! What? Who would do such a thing? Let's go talk over there in private. Look. There's some white hair caught up inside this mask. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I know who. So it makes you believe that the Amazing Nine-Tails has been murdered. You really want to know, eh? You're a studious one, ain't ya? Yes, just tell me, please. Well, it's like this. I dreamed of becoming a wrestler myself. Hey, how about you join me in my quest for the champion's belt? What a team! Me and my bandit's mask can jam that demon mask of yours. Demon mask? I wonder if I can make it big. Polo, let's save your pro wrestling debut until after the trial. Huh? Oh, no, I wasn't actually... I could have let him pull me off topic like that. Come on, Apollo, ask him about the amazing Mr. Nine-Tails' murder already. The amazing Nine-Tails is our village's savior, and don't you forget it. His trademark's a gold cape, made to look like 9 fox tails. He whirls through the ring, smack down Tenma-town wrestlers left and right. He sparked the monster craze, revitalizing the Nine-Tails Dale in the blink of an eye. Yep, saved our village from becoming a ghost town. Now it's a yokai town. Huh, the amazing Nine-Tails really does sound, well, amazing. Yeah, pretty amazing, huh? That's why he's worshipped like a hero around here. I'm proud to be from the same village as him. Come to think of it, you're kind of monster-like yourself, Mr. Filch. Guess it makes sense since you're from the same village as the amazing Nine-Tails. I know! A lot of people have told me I look like a yokai. When was that a compliment? Ouch! What's the big idea? Check your pocket. How'd you do that? Keep it, I got lots more. So you keep saying that the amazing Nine-Tails was killed? What's the story behind that? Are you saying he was murdered because his mask washed up along the river outside? That's the only part of it. The main reason is no one's seen him since the special event. The word around Nine-Tails Dale is he was killed by Tenma-taro. You villagers are really superstitious, aren't you? That we are. We love conspiracy theories, too, like the mayor's diabolical plot. The mayor? Tenma-town? What's he plotting? Rumor has it he's planning on releasing Tenma-taro. That's why he wants the merger. He'll open the Forbidden Chamber once he's in control. That's quite a tale. Ain't finished yet. There was only one person who could stop the mayor. Our hero, the amazing Ninetales. He vowed to battle the mayor of Tenma Town and stop the municipal merger. I couldn't make this stuff up if I tried.
Apollo, we still have to ask him about the Alderman's murder, remember?
Mr. Filch, would you mind telling us what you were doing at the time of the murder? I was in the caretaker's office guarding the entrance like Mr. QB said I should. And I made double sure no one came in. I have a clear view of the foyer from where I work.
So you're talking about the smaller room in the upper right.
Definitely looks like you can keep track of the comings and goings from there. You have an alibi to back your statement up, Mr. Filch? I do indeed. I was near Tenma's side. Laurent Lebel's his name. So the two of you were together. That's a pretty sound alibi, alright. Nobody came in or out of the manor around the time of the murder. Kept watching here the whole time. Didn't see a soul pass by. And if anyone did, that there security camera would have spotted them.
No one came in or out around the time of the murder. That means we're dealing with someone who was already inside when it happened.
So, you think this mask is the real deal? Without a doubt, this here's the mask worn by the amazing Ninetales.
What about that white hair I found inside the mask? Wait, I just thought of something. Remember the golden animal fur we found at the crime scene? Could it have come from this mask? Look, there's even a spot where some fur is missing.
This places this mask at the crime scene at some point in time. Which means... What does this mean? Someone with white hair who is linked with the murder and is against the merger. No way! Could the amazing Ninetales and the Alderman actually be? Yes.
Something wrong, Apollo? You should see the look on your face.
Oh, no, it's nothing. Maybe Jinxie could tell us something. And she works here. Oh look, there's Jinxie.
Milk, cheese, yogurt, ice cream, and...
But she's out grocery shopping. She must really like dairy products.
I'm trying to make a better milkshake and another to cure my lactose intolerance.
Maybe she should just stick to soy milk. Jinxie, hey, it's me.
It's the demon lawyer!
Ah! Not another warring charm.
Apollo? Who is she?
Oh, right. This is your first time meeting each other. This is Jinxie, Mayor Dunma's daughter. She's the first to discover the crime scene.
Oh? So she's the one who... hello. My name's Athena Sykes. I'll be helping Apollo defend your father at this trial. Pleased to meet you. Pleased to meet you too. Where's Trucy?
She went back to the office ahead of us. Don't worry, Athena and I are on the case.
Oh, wait. How do I know you didn't?
But you didn't gobble her up alive! Relax, I didn't eat her up. I wouldn't do such a thing in the first place.
Oh, poor little Trucy.
I'm about ready for some tears of frustration myself.
She's quite an, interesting character, huh, Apollo?
Jinxie, do you remember any more of what happened?
Not much. At least, not yet.
You do think Kanamataro is the killer, right?
That yokai we saw at the festival?
I don't know anything about that. Huh? You said Tenmataro murdered the Elderman. It's okay, Jinxie. You can tell me... Yikes! What was that for?
People see things when they don't get enough sleep. There's no such thing as monsters.
Huh?
What's gotten into her? If there are no monsters, you admit I'm human? No, you're still a demon. I give up. Seems like Jinxie doesn't want to talk about Tenmataro for some reason. That's precisely what we need to know more about. Besides, she definitely thought there was a yokai there in the fox chamber. Jinxie, how about this charm? Ah, that's... You gave me this when I was heading off to the scene of the crime. You thought Tenmataro was the murderer. That's why you gave this to me, right? That's true, but... If there's anything else you could tell us, it would really help. It will help your father, too. Alright then. Why do you think Tenmataro's the killer? I saw him. Saw him with my own eyes. Tenmataro was right there in the manor. He escaped his prison and ran right by me. What? Jinxie, tell us everything you saw. I called the police after I stumbled on the scene. I was just about to head back to the festival grounds when I saw Tenmataro. It was right around here. He was running right at me. I was paralyzed with fear. There was no one around to help me. Oh, he raced right by me toward the foyer. Toward the foyer? Foyer? Mr. Filch and Mr. LaBelle were supposedly in the foyer at the time. That means they would have seen Tenmataro, too. Sounds like we'd better get their statements. Considering Jinxie's mental state, her eyes could have been playing tricks on her. Apollo? Remember the picture in this paper? Someone caught Tenmataro flying through the air. I wonder if it's the same Tenmataro Jinxie says she saw. Don't be ridiculous! Tenmataro is the killer, and he can fly too. Jinxie works at the Elderman's Manor, so maybe she can shed some light on this. So, no one knows the Amazing Nine-Tails' true identity? Uh-huh. They say no one's ever seen him without his mask. Doesn't that make you want to know even more? Uh-huh. That's why matches where wrestlers try to expose their opponents are so popular. Wait, you mean expose as in strip them naked? Hey, you even look like a demon! The only thing the winner removes is the loser's mask. To have your mask torn off is the worst humiliation a wrestler could suffer. That's why their masks are more important to them than life itself. So you see, these unmasking matches are life and death battles for the wrestlers. That means this mask didn't just happen to wash up along the riverbank. There's got to be a story behind it. No one can stop the Amazing Nine-Tails. But she'd be shocked to find out he's really the Alderman. What the yokai you saw at the scene of the crime? Anything else stand out? Actually, I heard a strange jangly sound. A jangly sound? You be a little more specific. My memory's kind of fuzzy, but I vaguely recall seeing Tenmataro holding a staff or something like that. Maybe that's what was making the strange sound. Does Tenmataro usually carry a staff? Good question. I've never heard anything like that, and it's not shown in the scroll. How about in other documents? Any of them show Tenmataro with a staff? This is the only known document depicting Tenmataro. After all, those who needlessly depict the demon are forever cursed. What's the deal with the Tenmataro you saw, Jinxie? Why didn't you tell me you saw Tenmataro earlier? Actually, Mr. LaBelle told me not to tell. Mr. LaBelle? Papa's aide. Oh, right. The other guy who was supposedly in the foyer at the time of the crime. What exactly did he tell you? Keep the village superstitions in mind before you go talking about seeing Tenmataro at the time of the crime. Village superstitions? They say you must not gaze upon Tenmataro, but in the event that you do look, and then tell anyone what you saw, then Mataro will claim your soul.
That's something everyone here knows? Sounds like a bunch of baloney to me.
Uh-huh. Everyone from babies to the village and elders know about it. But I didn't because I'm not from around here.
Hey, come to think of it. Oh, at the special event, things said almost the exact same thing.
Oh, do you think this Lebel guy actually believes in Tenmataro?
I seriously doubt it. He's not even from Ninetales Vale.
Why would he try to keep Jinxie from talking?
Good question. I think we'd better go have a word with him. Time to unmask this monster of a mystery.
Last time I saw Mr. Lebel, he was relaxing in the foyer. Bueno. Next stop, the Manor Foyer. With any luck, he'll be there waiting for us.
I'll be right back. Let the chocolate craze commence.
There's no one here. Guess our luck isn't so good when it comes to Mr. Lebel.
Maybe he's out for a walk or something. Somebody left something in the sill of the caretaker's office window. Oh, it's a 3V program guide. Tenmatown Pro Wrestling, Howlin' Wolf versus Pretty Boy Vampire, blow by blow, commentary by Timothy Twilight.
Looks like someone circled a pro wrestling match.
Hey, what do you think you're doing?
It's a... Oh, Mr. Filch. What can we do you for?
I was going to scream monster. It really isn't much of a stretch. Ain't nothing I need you to do for me. Or what business do you got with my TV listings? Oh no, it's just caught my eye. Can I ask you if you watched this pro wrestling program today? Yep, it was a match between a couple of rank amateurs though. It was a complete disaster. I reckon even I could have done better than that. I seriously doubt that. Mr. Filch, did you see anything unusual around the time of the murder? For example, Tenmataro or something like that. Huh? Tenmataro? So you did see him? My, how clean and shiny your forehead is again today, Mr. Lawyer, sir. Bet you shine it up every day, real pearly like. The ladies must love it. Don't change the subject, and FYI, that was a seriously bad attempt at flattery. Jinxie said she saw Tenmataro flee toward the foyer. So you must have seen him too if you were here. Yipes! Wow, I really pushed the button there. Well, did you see anything or not? Hold it! That is quite enough. I must ask that you not pester my friend anymore. Yipes! Forgive me for being pestered, sir! And who might you be? I am Florent Lebel. Be you divine and personal aid to Mayor Damien Tenma. You divine? More like yokai grotesque. This place is crawling with monsters. Yes, he has a fairly hateable design. Oh, excuse you. Ah! What the heck was that for? Oh, it was just a little cologne. You had a look of sticky sweat about you. It's from my own original brand of cosmetics called Yesuis Level. Oh, what a heavenly scent. I think you just paralyzed my olfactory receptors. I suppose such a scent would be difficult for a peasant to appreciate. I'll have you know that it's brand number 5. Wouldn't you? It's my way of introducing myself. Enjoy! Where's my bottle of you so I can return the favor? Enough about the cologne. Please tell us what you saw around the time of the murder. I heard you're the one who told Jinxie not to mention that she saw Tenmataro. Why, that little... So she told you she saw the demon, did she?
Mr. LaBelle, do you mind if I ask whether you believe in the village superstitions?
Oh, please! I was merely trying to keep with traditions. Nevertheless, I will say this. I wouldn't stick my nose into this whole Tenmataro business if I were you. Bad things happen to those who do. That much is true. He is one scary monster.
That's crazy. You really expect me to believe that monsters are real?
Well, you're real and you sure look like a monster.
Look who's talking. So, Mr. LaBelle, didn't see Tenmataro. Ah!
Little Jinxie has an active imagination. Isn't that right, Phineas? That's right. I didn't see nothing, especially not Tenmataro. As for me, I only see things of beauty. That's why I can barely see you.
I've got 2 words for this guy. Total freak. They asked you what you were doing at the time of the crime.
In other words, you'd like to hear my alibi. Just tisk, to think you'd suspect me of all people.
Oh no, it's just a formality. We ask everyone to say, ah!
How dare you doubt me? That's an affront to beauty itself. You obviously can't see straight.
That spritz really helped.
What were we doing, you ask? Go ahead, Filchy, answer the question. At the time of the crime, we were, in this here void. Exactly. Good answer, Filch. Good answer. Being what's it all? You've said quite enough.
What is with these two? Great, now he's got me talking like that.
Are we quite through here? I'm a very busy man, you know.
Alright, well thanks for your help.
Come along, Filchy. Where we going? Oh, right, gotta practice them statements for tomorrow. Yay! My eyes! You're going to dig your own grave with that big mouth of yours someday.
What does he mean, practice statements?
Now, if you would excuse me, it's time to touch up my makeup.
Apollo, I know this sounds strange. But Mr. LaBelle seems unusually preoccupied with Tenmataro.
Really?
How can you tell? Well, it's kind of hard to explain. See, I can read people's emotions from the tone of their voice.
You mean you have good ears?
Something like that. People's emotions are expressed in the tone of their voice. And my ears can pick up on even the subtlest of tones for some reason.
That's an interesting skill. What do you mean he's preoccupied with Tenmataro?
I'm not exactly sure, but it was like he was obsessed with the thought of Tenmataro. That's what I picked up from his voice anyway.
Everywhere we turn, it's Tenmataro this, Tenmataro that.
Should go talk to the mayor too.
Sounds like a plan. We need to get to the bottom of that rumor about him wanting to release Tenmataro. Investigations are so much more smoother and straightforward and nice in this game. Only took them 4 games.
Something wrong, Apollo? Where did your enthusiasm go?
What am I doing asking the mayor if he has ever thought about releasing Tenmataro? At best, he'll think I'm an idiot. At worst,
Oh, he's here. It's so nice to finally meet you. I'm Mr. Justice's partner, Athena Sykes. Looking forward to working with you, Mr. Tenmataro.
Oh, yes, I look forward to working with you too. Hey, glad he didn't mind Athena calling him by a completely wrong name.
Apollo, he's just as kind and gentle looking as I'd imagined.
Lucky for you after that blunder you just made. There was something I wanted to talk to you about. There are rumors going on about how you want to or did something to set Tenmataro free. What utter nonsense!
Thanks!
They always assume the worst of me because of the way I look. But those rumors don't have a shred of truth, I tell you.
A little touchy about his appearance, isn't he?
What he really needs to work on are his people skills. So rumor has it you want to push the merger through. In order to release Tenmataro? Of course, that's a bunch of baloney, isn't it? Sorry if I offended you. So that's the talk of the town, is it? I can see how that would make you angry. What if Jinxie's schoolmates start teasing her about this? Huh? I must break out of here at once! Her tormentors must be taught a lesson! No, wait! First we have to get you a not guilty verdict! Don't try to stop me! This is about a father's duty to his darling daughter! Hold tight, sweet Jinxie! Daddy's coming to save you! Relax! We'll look out for your daughter until we can get you free! Is that so? You don't need me to go straighten things out myself? Oh boy! If I call in the SWAT team if he showed up at our school. Oh, right. I have to ask about the reason behind the merger. Seems like you were rather forceful in pushing for the municipal merger. Do you really want Ninetales Vale that badly? Yes, well, it's quite an attractive prize in terms of tourism. Haha. Wait, am I feeling what I think I'm feeling? Sure, I played a bit of hardball, but only when I deemed it necessary. I knew it. My bracelet's reacting.
What is it, Apollo?
Mayor Tenma may not be telling the whole truth.
Really? How can you tell?
People invariably tense up when they lie. That's where my bracelet here comes in. Oh yeah, I can sense when the person I'm talking to is feeling tense. It begins to feel tight on my arm.
No way! You can do that?
Wait, so you believe me? Just like that?
Sure, each of us has our own special gifts. Oh yeah, Athena's a gift too, her special sense of hearing. Still, what do you think the mayor's lying about?
I don't know, but it's our job to find out. It's been a while since my bracelet has reacted like this. Let's see if I still remember how to do this. First I touch my bracelet. Right, now let's give it a whirl. Nice, it's the exact same song. Yes, I remember this feeling of intense concentration. The ability to see the smallest twitch, the slightest frown that no one else can see. Now, Mayor Tenmo is lying somewhere in that statement he just made. And when he lied, a certain habit made itself clear just under his right eye. I just had to shift my viewpoint up and focus on that area. Alright, I've got him now. Stick should appear when he's trying to pull the wool over my eyes. Gotta pour over every word he says and wait for his stick to appear. And thus, I'll perceive it. Gotcha!
Gotcha!
Mr. Mayor, please. You can trust us with the truth. The truth? I don't understand. When you mentioned tourism, the bottom of your right eye started twitching. What nonsense is this? So what if it did? Please, tell us more about your merger bid. What more is there to tell? Why were you really seeking to merge with Ninetales Vale? I already told you, tourism. The monster craze really revitalized the village, making it quite the prize. You really don't trust us, do you? What are you talking about? The village has been hot property ever since the monster craze started, has it not? I think you've yet to realize what you're saying contradicts the facts. You say that the monster craze really revitalized Ninetales Vale, so well, it would be an attractive price for its tourism, but that would contradict this. The monster craze in Ninetales Vale is a very recent phenomenon. It was sparked when the amazing Ninetales rose up against the municipal merger. The village was practically a ghost town before then. Arg! So you see, you couldn't have possibly seen it as an attractive price for its tourism. What's the real reason behind your push to merge Denma Town with Ninetales Vale, huh? Well, Are you ready to tell the truth now? Honestly, I never wanted to pursue the merger in the first place, but I had no choice if I wanted to protect my darling little Jinxie. Protect her from what? I received a threat. It said either I go through with the merger or my Jinxie dies. What?
How awful! Who would do such a thing?
I don't know, but whoever blackmailed me must be connected to the murder. Wait, do you think the blackmailer and the killer could be one and the same? Alderman QB was immensely popular. You had to ask who would want him dead. The blackmailer who wanted the merger at all costs had all the motive in the world.
Why go from blackmail to murder? The merger protests won't disappear just because the alderman was killed.
Ah, could it be? What if there was another reason for the murder?
Like what?
Maybe the blackmailer discovered Alderman QB's secret identity. The secret identity was a threat to the blackmailer's merger scheme.
What do secret identities have to do with anything, Apollo?
I have evidence revealing the Alderman's secret identity. Maybe it's time to use it. Mayor Tenma, please take a look at this if you would. That's the amazing Nine-Tails mask. What is the meaning of this? This mask was almost definitely at the crime scene, and there was some white hair inside. White hair? You say? There was but one person with white hair in the manor that day. What are you saying? You know which man I'm talking about, right? I'm talking about Rex QB, the amazing Nine-Tails himself.
No way!
The alderman was impossible.
Wait, come to think of it, Alderman QB was a former pro wrestler. So the blackmailer turned killer when he discovered the alderman's secret identity.
Didn't I just say that? But yeah, the amazing Nine-Tails was a threat to the blackmailer's scheme. He opposed the merger, and as a result, single-handedly sparked the monster craze.
Even so, what was the mask doing at the crime scene?
There had been an event at the manor. Maybe Alderman QB had taken part in it. You get my drift? This is absurd! Mr. Mayor, do you have proof of the threat that was made against you? Yes, a blackmail letter. Unfortunately, it disappeared after the murder. I've been carrying it around in my briefcase, but now it suddenly vanished. The blackmailer must have taken it with them and after they killed the alderman. Well, at least we've clearly established the killer's motive. Mayor Tenma, visiting hours are over. It would appear this meeting is adjourned.
Apollo, do you really think the Tenmataro that Jinxie saw is the killer?
I don't know. All I know is there's no such thing as monsters.
What about that newspaper article? Did the killer have purposely freed Tenmataro to do their dirty work?
Come on, there wasn't any Tenmataro to release in the first place.
Yes, but the only suspects the police have right now are the mayor and the yokai.
Probably be arguing whether there was a yokai involved in court tomorrow. I can already see that look of disbelief on the judge's face.
Apollo, are you alright?
I'm fine. I'll think of something. There, because I can't very well say a flying demon was the killer. At this point, the only thing I know for sure is tomorrow is going to be one doozy of a trial. Alright. Go. I barely played. I guess I'll continue. You okay, Tina? I've been really antsy ever since we got here.
I'm just excited. This is my first real court case after all.
Yeah, a real ball of excitement she is. I know just what she needs. What the fuck's going on? Athena!
Eee! Did you ever learn about indoor and outdoor voices?
I'm just trying to show you the best way to relieve your pre-trial jitters.
By scaring the daylights out of me?
No, I find that shouting I'm fine in a loud voice really relieves the stress. It's part of my Courts of Steel voice workout and a must-do before every trial.
You want me to shout? Here?
That's right. Here. I'll go first, then you try. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine!
Alright, I'm Athena Sykes. And I'm fine! I think that actually worked.
Thought it might help. All this works for me. An old friend of mine from junior high and I say it all the time.
I see. A proven remedy to calm the soul. I like it. Hey, how about we finish off with a race around the courthouse?
The point is to relieve stress, not get totally exhausted. With all the racket, you two. Ah, Mr. Right. Just a little voice workout. Hey, what's with the suit? Oh, this? I was thinking about getting my attorney's badge back, that's all. That's all? That's huge news! But why now? I have a feeling I'll be needed in the courtroom again sometime soon. We can talk about that another time. No fair. Inquiring minds want to know. Wow. Okay. I'm so used to him in his usual laid-back clothes. That suit makes him look like $1 million. By the way, you heard about the prosecutor assigned to this case? Yeah, he's serving time, but before that, he was a prosecutor. He also uses psychology. That's right. I've heard the rumors about how he was back before his conviction. Using the power of suggestion, he can make even the most stalwart defendants confess. Psychology in the courtroom. Been hearing a lot about that lately. So, he must be a pretty scary guy, considering he's a prison inmate and all. So they say. They also say he'll cut you down if you talk too much. Ah! I knew it was gonna be bad news. It's probably just hyperbole. At least I hope for your sake. Wait, so is it true or not? Let's just say you should be concise and choose your words carefully. You'd like to keep that head of yours attached to the rest of your body, that is. Yikes. We're toned down my Courts of Steel too. So, are you all ready? Might be a good idea to check the court record again before stepping into the ring. Right, Mr. Right, but I'm fine. I'll be watching from the gallery. Good luck. Thanks.
Okay, let's do this.
The odds of pulling this off are ridiculously low, but that's nothing new. Believe in our client, seek the truth. Next time on Apollo on Phoenix Wright. Hang in there, Mayor Tenma. Here comes justice. Right, I need water. You should always drink lots of water after eating chocolate. Court is now in session for the trial of Damien Tenma.
Apollo Justice, defense team leader, is ready, Your Honor.
I know that big booming voice anywhere. As chipper as ever, eh, Mr. Justice? But who is this young lady next to you?
I'm Tina Sykes, Mr. Justice's junior partner, fresh out of law school.
Well now, full of beans too, eh? Excellent! Makes an old man feel young again. Now for the prosecution. It appears the prosecution is not yet ready.
Never fear, for I shall explain. It's just a minor procedural complication, Your Honor.
The prosecutor for this case is being escorted from prison as we speak. Prison? Oh, yes, of course. I almost forgot that he is currently serving time.
Yup, Prosecutor Blackwell's an inmate. But even a convicted murderer still got a job to do and duties to perform.
Bruh. Talk about an introduction. Who's that with his back to us over there? That's him, I'm sure of it. Prosecutor Blackwell.
Is the prosecution ready? Enough jabbering. Get on with it already. Of course! Forgive me!
I imagine he has a Bancho Lemon's voice for some reason. Why are all the people related to this case so scary?
Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement if you... What's the matter? Must we continue to fritter away time like this? It is all right there in the indictment. An opening statement would be pointless. Pointless? Well...
Looks like the cat, or in this case the prosecutor, has the judge's thumb.
But, we need an opening statement as an overview of the case at hand. Well then, your baldness, it's very important. Why don't you do the honors? Who? Me? There's a term for people who whine and fuss about how they need silly, useless things. And then decide they no longer want them once it's theirs. A selfish old fool.
Huh? Wait, was that the prosecution's opening statement?
Old dotards such as you are a plague upon the young. I pity your poor grandchildren, or great-grandchildren. All these years I thought the opening statement was the prosecutor's job. But I suppose I could give it a try. It might be a nice change of pace.
What?
He actually fell for that?
That must have been the power of suggestion Mr. Wright was talking about.
The opening statement, huh? Let's see here. The victim was one Rex Cuby, alderman of Nine Tails Vale, and the defendant, Damien Tenma, mayor of Tenma Town, was accused of his murder. And why, pray tell, was the mayor arrested? His prints were on the murder weapon, plus he had a motive, the elimination of the biggest roadblock to the municipal murder. The caretaker and the secretary, other potential suspects both have alibis. And his daughter, who was also in the vicinity of the time of the incident, has no motive. So in a nutshell, I'd have to say the charges against the defendant are incontrovertible.
Oh, right, I forgot. I was gonna say, how does Blackwell do his investigations? But then I remembered about that guy.
Whoops. Bravo, your boldness. Your years of experience shine bright like your head. Oh ho ho! Flattery will get you everywhere.
He's playing Simon Sass with the judge.
Moving right along now, let's hear from our first witness for today, Detective Fulbright. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Bruh.
I'm the detective assigned to this case, Bobby Fulbright. Oh, and I'll also be keeping tabs on old Blackwell here. I also heard you would provide protection if it ever came to that. It would seem that I have been sorely underestimated.
Wait, who's protecting who from what?
Still, I truly believe anyone can turn their life around, even old Blackwell. Fulbright, save your platitudes for funerals. Get on with your statement. Ha ha ha, that's the spirit. Justice must be swift and true. I see it in your eyes. There's hope for your rehabilitation and return to society. I'll never give up on you.
Prosecutor Blackwell doesn't seem to intimidate Detective Fulbright.
Well, you know what they say, ignorance is bliss.
Oh, so that's why Detective Fulbright was assigned to Blackwell. He's so oblivious.
Now let's have your first statement. Detective Fulbright. You got it. But first I'd like to say to the defense that justice will ultimately prevail. Alderman QB was murdered with a spear that had been on the wall. The fingerprints of the defendant, Damien Tenma, were found on the murder weapon. At the time, Alderman QB was asleep from a drug he unwittingly ingested. Mayor Tenma attacked his helpless victim, impaling him like a human shish kebab. But the sudden pain jolted the victim awake and he grabbed the statue and struck back.
Alderman QB had been slipped some kind of sleep-inducing drug.
That's right. The accused was scared because the alderman was a former pro wrestler. So he slipped him a drug to make sure he'd be out cold and defenseless. Here's the autopsy report to prove it.
About time.
And the victim managed to attack his attacker despite being impaled by a spear? That sounds almost superhuman. Is it even possible? Well, he was a former pro wrestler after all. That spear was probably nothing more than a mosquito bite to him.
Objection!
Not so fast. Don't try to brush it all off by saying the alderman had been a pro wrestler.
You really expect us to believe he could fight back after being skewered by a spear? Never heard of the incredible feats of which man is capable of in a pinch, have you? Like the samurai of yore, wrestlers can battle through intense pain. It sharpens their senses. I used to talk about it with a former wrestler I met in this clink.
I don't know. Still sounds a little far-fetched.
Does it now? And perhaps we should test the theory on you with the edge of my blade.
I didn't sign up for this!
And so your life is spared. For now.
Please let those shackles be made of titanium. I don't want to die.
Haha! My investigations are as thorough as they are foolproof, or my name isn't Fulbright. I vow to resign immediately if I ever make a false arrest. The accused's prints were on the weapon, and he's the one person without an alibi. Quite decisive evidence, wouldn't you agree? Your boldness? The defendant is sounding guiltier by the minute.
Yes, the judge leaning toward a guilty verdict, and the trial's just barely begun.
What's more, a curious rumor about the accused is making the rounds. They say he seeks the murder for the purpose of freeing Tenma Taro from his imprisonment. Truth be told, I can think of no real reason to show interest in that backwards burg. Perhaps he's a complete nutter, and really does seek to release an imaginary demon. Either way, he is raving mad and more than capable of murdering the alderman. Mayor's a strange one, alright.
I heard you went to a blood drive, but instead of donating, you tried to make it a withdrawal.
Order! There will be no gossiping in my court. Your baldness, please take a gander at those charms plastered across his cranium. I hear they're meant to keep him safe from possession by the demon Tenmataro. Then again, perhaps he's already under the demon's spell. Behold, the lunatic appears poised to launch at you at any moment. Hey!
The rumors and quirks of Mayor Tenma have no relevance to this case. Besides, those charms on his head, they're just a fashion statement, I think.
Come to think of it, such things don't seem relevant to the case, do they?
The prosecution will refrain from dragging our client's reputation through the mud.
Oh, what a dreadfully fearsome lass we have here.
Whew, thanks for that lifeline, Tina. Careful, Apollo. He has the judge dancing in the palm of his hand. Power of suggestion is one of the more powerful tools in Simon Blackwell's arsenal. He's trying to manipulate everyone's impressions to suit his objectives.
This guy really is bad news. In any case, it seems the victim did manage to defend himself despite being impaled. What sort of weapon did he use against his attacker? Other than the statue right here. It appears to be a statue of two strange creatures locked in battle. Tignan mo nga kung nahanap nyo ni Mami tong certificate ko noong 2019. Mami?
Yeah.
Why would you post this on the goddamn Minecraft channel?
I-send mo sa ano ko, messenger.
What am I gonna send?
Yung sample ng certificate na sinasabi niya.
Alright, later.
Pero hindi ko alam yung mga yan.
Two yokai to be exact. On one side is the nine-tailed fox, and on the other Tenmataro. Quite interesting if you think about it. It's as though this very case were rendered in art. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. So those weapons on the wall of the Fox Chamber, I presume those are real? Don't you think keeping real weapons around like that is rather dangerous? No matter what he collected, the Alderman insisted it be the real deal. For instance, he had a real demon's club in his possession. Apparently one of his ancestors claimed it after defeating a demon in battle. What? That's got to be an old wives' tale. The Alderman had pure unadulterated justice flowing in his veins. Whatever he did it right. We've lost a real champion of justice in his death. Nothing but a claptrap and boulder dash if you ask me. Now stop your bleating and tell us about the weapon. Your wish is my command! Doesn't make sense if you think about it. Prints could be easily wiped off. You do have a point there. I'd venture to say he did not wipe off the prints, because he could not. What do you mean?
Looks like he wants you to figure it out. Well, don't just stand there, show him who's boss.
I'm totally lost, so why don't you just tell me the answer already?
I don't think he saw that plea for help.
Feeling alright, kid? Running a fever, perhaps? I wish trials came with a reset button. Well, the specifics may yet come to light. Please proceed, Detective Fulbright.
Come to think of it, a coffee cup was found on the floor. Was the sedative in this coffee?
Bingo! We found traces of a sleeping agent all over the inside of the cup. That is why he was out cold. That is until he leapt to his feet upon being impaled by the mayor.
What an awful way to wake up.
Heh, a rather stimulating eye-opener, if you ask me. I too would have risen to the attack, for to die in battle is the samurai way. Paradise awaits fallen heroes, but that hole in the stomach would make eating a challenge.
Prosecutor Blackwell, please, those morbid jokes of yours have no place in this court.
Says the jester in detective's guise. Moving right along.
The alderman was drugged because he was really strong.
Did you see those rock-hard muscles of his? I'm surprised the spear even managed to pierce that armor-like musculature. I admit I'm completely jealous of that righteous body of his. Ha ha ha!
Well, he did look pretty buff, even in that suit he had on.
Why the difference when compared with a yellow belly like you?
Yellow belly? Who even says that anymore? Yeah, and the collar's all wrong, too. Oh, I know. I'm a squishy red tomato. I hope you strike both of your comments from the record.
So Justice's character is not the issue here. Now let's get back to what happened after the far more muscular alderman was impaled.
Yes, well, your average person would likely have died on the spot. Would he really have attacked his attacker after being impaled with that huge spear?
Absolutely! After all, he was once a pro wrestler. The injustice of being drugged and speared was answered with a righteous counterattack.
Does being a former pro wrestler make him superhuman?
Absolutely! After all, he was one of the good guys, like a superhero on the side of justice. Even though he was retired, he could still don a superhero guise in times of need.
Objection!
You need to lay off the comics books, detective. We're talking about real life here.
Setting aside the half-wit's flights of fancy, the fact is this. The court-ordered post-mortem and concluded the victim moved after his curing.
I found his trance somehow to attack a stacker, huh? Detective Fulbright's testimony sounds like airtight. No wonder he's so confident. No, he only thinks it's airtight. It's up to us to poke some holes in it. That part about the Elderman fighting back sounds like a big hole waiting to be poked. It already did.
Objection!
Did the alderman really strike the mayor?
What? Are you questioning my sense of justice?
Your so-called justice needs to find itself a pair of legs to stand on. You claim the alderman struck back after the mayor put a spear through him, but the statues he supposedly used to defend himself creates a major hole in your theory.
It would appear that the defense has a counter-argument. Very well, let's hear what the defense thinks is odd about the detective's statue theory.
How about the fact that there are no fingerprints? There are no fingerprints on this supposedly crucial piece of evidence. If you look at the crime scene photo, you'll notice that the alderman isn't wearing his gloves.
Yes, I believe he is quite gloveless indeed.
If he touched the statue with his bare hands, he should have left some fingerprints. Detective Fulbright, you did take that into account during your investigation, didn't you?
Ah, this can't be happening! Did I arrest the wrong man? Hell yeah! New trial is about to start, baby. That's the name of the song, I think.
You knocked Detective Fulbright off his high horse.
Well, it's just 1 point in our favor.
Who do you suppose clubbed the mayor if it wasn't the alderman?
Well, if it wasn't the alderman, that means someone else must have clubbed the mayor.
Mean there was a third party there in the Fox chamber?
Exactly, and this could be the big break we've been looking for. There does seem to be a hole in the prosecution's argument. Prosecutor Blackwell, would you care to respond to the defense's assertion?
The least you could do is to look at me while being dismissive.
Your mind is as dull as an unhoned blade, Justice Dunno.
Justice Dunno? You've been watching too many samurai flicks.
Ito will take far more than that to cut down Simone Blackwell. A whelp such as you has no hope against my superior swordsmanship.
This is a trial, not a sword fight, Prosecutor Blackwell.
There's a perfectly good explanation for the lack of prints on the statue. You might recall that blood-stained cloth found at the scene of the crime. Well, it just so happens that the blood was the mayor's.
So, what are you getting at?
Hone your mind, boy. Why was there blood on that cloth? Solve that riddle and you shall see that the hole you thought you found is but an illusion.
Now, let's see. How's that cloth used? Was it used to wipe blood? Maybe the cloth was used to wipe as much of the mayor's blood as possible off the statue, and in the process, the culprit inadvertently erased the alderman's fingerprints as well.
Jackson!
But the mayor did not bother to wipe away his own fingerprints and the murder weapon. Why would he wipe down one weapon but not the other? Careful now, use what little brains you have left before you speak.
Can you do more on that one, please? Right. The alderman wrapped the statue in the cloth. In short, he wasn't touching the statue directly when he used it to strike back at the mayor. Ah!
Precisely. Bully for you, boy.
Oh, it was nothing. Apollo, don't let him start manipulating you too. Just close the hole for the prosecution.
I did?
I did!
Right. That a statue wrapped in cloth would leave no fingerprints is as plain as day. But this also proves there are no holes in our theory of the alderman striking back.
Oops. Arg!
Now do you see how dull your mind is?
I'll make sure to sharpen it next time.
A particularly frightening inmate once told me that he always tenderly honed his blade before he went to work, like the samurai of yore. Samurai sounds more like a homicidal maniac to me. Actually, he was working in the prison kitchen at the time.
Wait, so the inmate was a murdering samurai prison chef? No, Apollo. He was just a normal chef, sharpening his cooking knife, used for cooking and cutting up foodstuffs.
It would seem that the victim and his killer were the only ones there after all.
I was kinda attached to that hole. Now what? Apollo, I just thought of something. They didn't find anyone's fingerprints on the statue. Who's to say someone other than the alderman didn't hit the mayor with it?
Why didn't I think of that? Anybody could have not left prints on it. Then And who, pray tell, struck the mayor with the statue? Please illuminate us with your wisdom, young lady.
There's only one answer. The real killer.
Prove the existence of this real killer, then. What evidence have you?
Oh, I'll give you evidence, alright.
Athena, are you sure about this?
To borrow your words, Apollo, I'm fine. Take a look at this. Black feathers and tracks allegedly from a yokai were found at the scene. I believe they're from the third party who struck the mayor with that statue.
Is the defense actually suggesting some sort of monster killed that alderman?
That's exactly what I'm suggesting.
Objection!
No, Athena, you just lost what little credibility we had left.
Ow! Sorry. Guess I got carried away.
Mr. Justice, we've no time to deal with objections between members of the defense. Sorry, Your Honor. It's just, this kid's still, well, a kid.
Ouch. You meanie, I'm reporting this to Mr. Wright.
So, is this court to believe the feathers and tracks are from a yokai, as you put it? No, Your Honor. I believe they are a fabrication. The real killer wants us to believe some sort of monster murdered the alderman. Interesting. And why do you suppose the killer would do that? Why indeed? Mr. Justice, you seem as new to this as your partner is. Ouch. This is not reporting to I'm not reporting to Mr. Wright. Oi, fool, Wright. Explain with boldness what these brats are missing. You know, the who and why behind those feather and tracks.
What?
You can explain all that? Ha! Our investigative prowess is without equal.
I'm starting to think I chose the wrong profession.
Very well, let's hear about these so-called yokai feather tracks.
How long have I been recording? Almost an hour and a half. I'll get to this testimony and that's where I'll end it.
This entire case centers in one man's attempt to crush opposition to the municipal merger. Mayor Tenma panicked when the amazing Nine Tails helped embolden the protesters. So he stroked the villagers' fears by fabricating a monster. The strange feathers and tracks he planted made it look like a yokai was the killer.
Those feathers and tracks took the villagers' fears?
Absolutely! He knew exactly how to prey on their superstitious minds. Those feathers only gave weight to the idea that the alderman was slain by a demon. The accursed demon Tenma Taro, that is. Tenma who? Tenma Taro, a legendary demon locked away in the village's forbidden chamber. From a young age, the villagers are taught to fear the great black-feathered demon, and thus were they blinded to other, more plausible explanations.
Hold on for a second before we start letting our imaginations run wild. Isn't there someone else that could be considered a suspect?
Mr. Justice, please explain yourself.
On the day of the incident, there was a special event held at QB Manor, and as part of this event, there was someone dressed in the likeness of Tenma Taro. Obviously, this person is a much more likely suspect than any legendary demon.
Objection!
Objection! Dullard. I don't know. I can't do that voice. Doesn't fit what I think fits better on Blackwell. I mean, I did give a different voice to frickin' what's his name again? Von Karma, Manfred. Where I was like, objection! The defense will refrain from doing all this stupid bullshittery. Instead, they are guilty. I like that voice better for Karma.
Dullard, you are playing right into the killer's mind games.
What?
Listen here. The feathers and tracks were merely red herrings. The villagers believed the murder to be the work of the real Tenma Taro. However, the police believe that the person in the Tenma Taro suit is the killer.
Ah!
The defendants sought to sow this confusion in order to deflect blame away from himself. However, he was knocked unconscious by the alderman. and thus our mentally deficient mayor was caught red-handed at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Do you honestly believe Mayor Tenma would do something so stupid?
Objection!
The evidence speaks for itself. Fool, right?
Right. It was the mayor's last-ditch effort to stop the opposition before things got crazy. The Amazing Nine-Tails was fueling both the yokai craze and the anti-merger movement. Plus, he's one of the better-known mass wrestlers and the hometown favorite. That's why the mayor panicked and set out on the path of injustice. But do the people of Nine-Tails Vale really believe a yokai is behind the crime? Yokai sightings are an everyday event there, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did.
I must say, a crime that preys upon innocent, impressionable minds. Just so. A particularly silver-tongued inmate once had the following words for me. The innocent of heart are the easiest to prey. Don't say, was this inmate a con artist? No. He was framed for the murder of his beloved. I actually felt sorry for the poor chap.
Wait, so he wasn't the predator, but rather the prey? Oof, oh shit. Ants are trying to get this. I was planning on eating them after I finished recording. While I was continuing my writing.
Yes, well, now then, the defense may proceed with their cross-examination.
Alright, let's try to see if I can find a contradiction here immediately before pressing anything. Let's see, what do I have? Detective Fulbright, is the anti-merger movement really that strong?
Oh, absolutely! They parade around in yokai costumes, shouting down with Mayor Tenma! Just the other day, they stormed Tenma City Hall, claiming it was a den of vipers! But when the accused showed his face, the angry mob scattered like leaves upon an autumn wind. For you see, lowly yokai are no match for Tenma Taro, the Dark Lord of their kind.
Wait, are the villagers scared of Mayor Tenma or Tenma Taro? I'm confused. I think it means Mayor Tenma. It's easy to get the wrong impression about the guy.
Detective Fulbright, why do you suppose the defendant would commit such an act?
The Amazing Nine-Tails. No one knows his true identity, right?
That's right. And he was a lone wolf. Or in other words, he didn't belong to a wrestling federation. He appeared like a shooting star, defeating one Tenma Town wrestler after another. Before anyone knew it, he was the champion. Like the samurai of yore, surrounded thick with enemies, he cut them down one by one. It was a complete and utter loss of face for Tenma Town Pro Wrestling. He was amazing! If there was ever a real superhero, it would be him! I dream of becoming a true champion of justice like him someday!
I bet Detective Fulbright would be a great pro wrestler. Could even team up with Prosecutor Blackwell.
A police detective and a prisoner in chains.
You know, I think people would actually pay to see that.
I know I would. Ha ha ha! So you do understand the greatness that is the Amazing Nine-Tails.
The murder and yokai evidence really stroked the villagers' fears.
Absolutely, it had an immediate effect. A presumed return of the dreaded Tenmataro has them shaking in their boots. Oh my, is it really that bad? That superstitious lot, it's as if Jack the Ripper had been set loose in their village. The mere thought of that demon lurking about is enough to spark a mass exodus. I see. That's a very persuasive argument. The mere thought of dishonor buying into Simon the Psycho Slasher's word, hash slinging, sash slinging, mash singing, hash slinging slasher. So you see, there can be only one reason why anyone would want to plant their feathers and tracks.
Hold it!
That doesn't add up. What you say is true. Why top it off with murder?
What do you mean?
You claim that our client planted the yokai evidence and took the villagers' fears. So then why not stop there? Why murder Alderman QB?
Excellent point.
It is, isn't it? So your honor agrees there was no reason for the murder, correct?
Objection!
Perhaps the killing was spur of the moment.
You're saying it wasn't premeditated?
From the outset, it had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. I had no intention of paying heed to any of your babble. However, the fact is, the mayor made a startling discovery.
Startling discovery? I don't like the sound of that.
Alderman QB's secret identity.
Apollo. I think Prosecutor Blackwell has figured out the Alderman's secret identity. But if he has, could it be a motive for the mayor to commit murder?
This is not good. This patch of fur was discovered at the crime scene. It's from the mask worn by the amazing Nine-Tails. Therefore, we can conclude that this mask was at the crime scene. Oh my, but why would it have been there? The victim was a former pro wrestler and a member of the anti-merger movement. Need I say more? Well, could it really be? Your baldness hasn't had an epiphany, I see. Our victim Rex QB was the amazing Nine-Tails, and the mayor's discovery of such was his motive for murder.
No!
Order! Order! What a shocking development. A motive clearer than crystal clear.
What do we do now, Polo?
I didn't think they'd tie the Alderman's secret identity to the mayor's motive for murder. At last we've reached my real point. Why did the Alderman have to forge a secret identity? Does it not pique your interest, your boldness? I admit, it does. It is odd that he had to create this other persona, just to secretly participate in the anti-merger movement. Very astute of you, your boldness. Right, now take a look at this.
Blackmail.
They found it. If you value your dearest life, you will merge Nine-Tails Vale with Tenma Town. Do not tell anyone about this threat. If you do, consider yours as good as dead. This blackmail letter was found in Alderman QB's pocket.
What?
At present, the Alderman's wife is in the hospital. And that letter is clear evidence that the mayor was blackmailing him by threatening her life.
Wait, I keep getting confused by the people. Shit, but we know it wasn't actually... Wait, didn't the blackmail letter sent to Mayor Tenma go missing? Right after the Alderman's murder? Think maybe the killer took the letter from the mayor after the murder? Planted it into the Alderman's pocket? It's possible. We don't have any proof that that's what happened. How about being up the creek without a paddle?
Mayor Tenma would have made a clean getaway if he just left after planning the yokai things. But he was knocked out cold by a sudden decision to kill the Amazing Nine Tails. It was the Amazing Nine Tails' counterattack that brought the entire crime to light. Wait a sec. Corporate's claiming that the mayor killed the alderman after planning the yokai evidence. That the mayor was knocked out cold immediately after that. Detective Fulbright, please add your previous statement to your testimony. Let me get this straight. You believe the mayor planted the yokai evidence before the murder, not after. Absolutely. And then he was knocked out cold by the alderman's last punch. He wouldn't have had a chance to plant the evidence after that. Something's not right here. I can believe that a stiff, humorless man like the mayor could be behind such a stunt.
We have to do something, Apollo, before they pin it all on the mayor.
We're going to need to prove that Mayor Tenma didn't plan that yokai stuff.
How are we supposed to do that?
Objection!
Detective Fulbright, your sense of justice is anything but fair. What's this? You dare question my justice again? Yes, and I'm going to prove it to you. Take a look at this photo. This is the crime scene photo. And just what does this prove? It proves when the feathers and tracks were planted. But I already told you they were planted before the murder. The defendant planted the yokai evidence that was knocked out while killing his victim. That would be impossible. If you look right here, it's clear when the feathers and tracks were left at the scene. Aren't you just pointing to the yokai feathers and tracks, Mr. Justice? Yes. See how the feathers are on top of the blood, and the tracks were made in blood. In other words, the yokai evidence could have only resulted after the murder. The mayor must have planted the evidence after killing the alderman. But you said it yourself, the mayor had been knocked unconscious thereafter. There would have been no time for him to plant any evidence at all. Therefore, there must have been someone else behind the mayor and the alderman at the crime scene. There must be some mistake! Order! Order! Well, where's your evidence? Can't possibly have any, can you? Ha 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 ha! Evidence? Oh, I have evidence. In fact, I have an eyewitness's testimony for you. You do? How? Is my vaunted sense of justice really just half-baked?
He's taking this really hard.
Mr. Justice. What is this testimony regarding a third party that you claim to have? I have it right here, Your Honor. It's a sworn testimony of Mr. Tenma's daughter. The witness Jinxie Tenma saw a yokai in the hallway after stumbling upon the scene. It was the demon Tenma Taro. He's the source of those feathers and tracks. Would somebody please say something? The defense will explain to the court exactly what he means. You dare to mock this court and justice itself? You're unfit to bear your name, boy! Your baldness, as our defense attorney here, is delirious from exhaustion.
Apollo, think of something quick before you're held in contempt of court.
What do you think I'm trying to do? Before you decide whether I should step down, please hear me out. Very well, Mr. Justice, I'm all ears. But you had better explain yourself well. What was this yokai you were talking about?
It's all in the statement here. Jinxie Tenma asserts that she saw Tenma Taro after she discovered the crime scene and called the police. She came around the corner in the hall. It was around here that she saw Tenma Taro fleeing toward the foyer. The defense asserts that whoever was impersonating this monster, the one who left those feathers and tracks behind, intentionally or otherwise. What? How incredibly unjust! Why haven't I heard about this before? The defense has proved there was someone else. So the mayor isn't the killer? Was it all set up? The prosecutor is a convicted felon after all.
Apollo, the momentum has shifted in our favor.
Good, now let's keep it that way.
Jackson.
Little do you realize that though you are in the midst of a fray, your sword is broken. My sword? No, I had one to break. Are you implying there's a problem with my claim? Consider this, if that yokai impersonator had indeed fled toward the foyer, that fool and that fop would have seen him. Fool and fop? Oh, you mean Filch and Lavelle. Now that you mention it. Both Phineas Filch and Florent Lavelle were in the foyer at the time, but they hadn't stated that they saw a yokai, have they? Did you ever consider that yokai was but a figment of a scared little girl's imagination? Why didn't those two see the Tenma Taro impersonator pass by? Why don't we ask them ourselves? I was just about to say that myself. Oh really, I was. The defense would like to call Mr. Phineas Filch, caretaker of QB Manor, to the stand. I just know he must have seen something. I suppose we can't ignore the fact that that little girl believes she saw a monster. I trust you have no objections to Mr. Justice's request, Prosecutor Blackwell. I understand that Mr. Filch is enjoying a nap out in the lobby. I knew that Tanuki was a rare find, and when we captured him I didn't think he'd end up a witness. Do with him as you will. Did you just say captured? No, wait, I don't want to know. Very well then, bailiff. Please go wake up Mr. Filch and escort him to the witness stand. Alright, I will end this here. Later.